I think all of you know who I am. A lot of you met me at AWE this year, just a couple weeks ago now. And today we've got our very special guest, Olivier Moingeon, who is here to talk to us about his recent project with Hugo Boss and other things. We've got, before we kick it over though to him, we're going to go through some AWE updates and share all of the amazing things that happened while we were there. And I'm going to let Billie go ahead and introduce herself while I am sharing my slide deck. And feel free to use chat, everyone.
I think I know everybody, but you never know. Goldman from Intel, 28-year veteran in the marketing space. I've won all sorts of awards here, excited to be, diving into the XR space. And
this call may be recorded for coaching purposes.
Nice. I love all the recordings. This is wonderful. That's it. Me in a nutshell. Lisa and I are thrilled to be doing these pub crawls with you. And thank you all for joining and being excited about this space with us.
Yes. So for today, we've got a cram-packed, you know what I'm trying to say, agenda. We've got a very ambitious agenda today. So we're going to talk about AWE. We've got some news, and then we've got Exclusible and Olivier, who's going to share. I've posted the links to our hands-on spatial demos in chat already. You are welcome to multitask. If you want to go and get that set up and start, listening and exploring, please feel free to go right ahead, and we will join you in just a few moments. So first of all, I want to say AWE was a huge success. It was whirlwind. It was went super by really fast, but it was just chock full of amazing things. This is our awesome group. Many of you here are pictured. And our group grew kind of throughout the event. And I think some of the highlights from my perspective, and then I'll let Billie share her highlights as well. The show floor tour for me was probably the most valuable part of the experience. It was amazing to get in before the crowd and to go through and not have to wait in line to try some of the technologies and to really get this awesome presentation from the vendors, directly toward us marketers, because a big part, the show isn't all about marketers. It's many different types of people that come. So having the time for them to talk about what they're showcasing from our perspective, from a marketing perspective, I thought was really valuable. So that was one of my favorite parts. I ran into so many old friends. That just filled my heart with joy. One of my friends that I hadn't seen since I had been in Europe, from Berlin, was there. And I mean, it was just, friend after friend after friend. And that's one of the amazing things about this conference, is that you do see that you make relationships and see the people that you've met over and over and over again, and have a chance to deepen that relationship. It's such a great community. And book next year, everybody. I'm very excited and eager to try and bring this to you again next year. We're talking to Nathan about that. We're negotiating that right now. One way or the other, we will be there. It is the one show that I will be prioritizing that will actually get me to leave the house and put clothes on. So that's the plan. And Billie, I'll let you go ahead and share what's some of your highlights here.
I was frustrated with how few people contacted me after the show that I didn't manage to see at the show. It's like, I don't know how I missed all these people. It was like, wowee. I am so surprised, but it was great to see so many faces that I did know. And it is a small community. It really is. I too found tremendous value in the walkthrough and just having a few minutes that, when you're on the show floor and you're trying to get, some attention, and hearing what the pitch is and, leaning across 3 or 4 other people, it's really tough. It's really tough. I wish we had seen more vendors in that private preview, quite frankly, as I found it such a value. And really, it, gave me the right highlights to go back and really have a deeper conversation with a few of them. So I too found it tremendously valuable.
Yeah, love that.
And Nathan was an amazing tour guide,
Yes,
With
he was.
This way, we need to
He kept all of us on track. And this, I'm happy to send out these slides, everyone. If after the fact, you can always hit me up, where I am, and I can share the deck if you are eager to get your hands on it. But this was the map of our tour, and these were the ones that we had that we visited, the companies. We did have a last minute edition of XReal with their AR glasses, and I did just want to go through a couple of slides here to chat about a few of the standouts for me from the tour. And Snapchat was definitely one. They did an amazing job selling me on the benefits of their platform for engaging 15 to 25-year-olds. They really do hold that audience. They have a worldwide global audience for that age bracket, and they really are a great plug and play if you're trying to do AR. They give you everything you need to create a lens and to get an AR experience going that's accessible to that group. So our tour guide was amazing here and they had some really cool tech. They had their AR mirror on display, which you can read more about that from this TechCrunch link. But Billie, anything else you want to say about Snapchat?
Just that I'm like one of the only people that uses Snapchat every day in my age group.
Yeah. It's so true. Yes. Yeah. And sometimes
I'm an avid user. Yeah.
Go. These links come through. Okay. The next thing I wanted to so Sightful and XReal. So this was the AR laptop that we got to try out in partnership with XReal, which are the AR glasses. We've talked about these glasses on the pub crawl before. They're lightweight. They're very comfortable. I got to try the glasses and the laptop. And I do want to just say I thought it's a huge step forward to spatial computing and where we're going. But the demo didn't make me want to run out and buy either, to be honest. It just wasn't quite.
At a $2,000 price point, I was damn impressed. What it means is that, the next version is going to be better and it may be cheaper. I was impressed with the price point.
And please, those of you that were with us, so many of you are here today that were with us.
May be recorded for coaching
Feel free
purposes.
to unmute and share your thoughts. I wasn't, I don't think this is ready for prime time, but some of others of you may disagree with me, in which case, please feel free. I'm not the end all be all. I think I think I had the expectation that this was really going to be, an immersive desktop experience. And it just wasn't as clear or as intuitive as I really wanted it to be. The field of view just wasn't that great. And it was kind of fuzzy and blurry and pixelated around the edges. So I couldn't work in that. I'd rather just work at my desk at that point, right? Because I have my big monitor and my desk is just way better. I think there are a few use cases that, maybe you're on an airplane, maybe that's compelling because you don't want to have to be like at your little laptop on an airplane. But frankly, I can't wait for future iterations. Did anybody else disagree with that or have other thoughts on this one? I will say it was so awesome to try it.
Yeah, you know what I was going to say?
Oh, Claire, go for it.
Thanks. About this, but also even more about the Apple Vision.
Oh, no.
I know everyone always wants to talk about that. But anyway, the feature that's so cool to me for both of these is the privacy. No one can see your screen. I feel like I never hear anyone talking about that, but I feel like that's, being on an airplane, I feel like that's a real good feature.
Yeah, I saw data that actually showed that people that use XReal actually use it every single day. So, once you start, it looks like you just don't put it down. And that to me is just such a winner. You just got to, try it to really see the value.
I would say there's probably some truth to that in a lot of the wireless VR stuff, where you see a lot more regular adoption, regular use.
Yeah. Regular use really counts.
I could see the Sightful, the Space Top. I'm totally I always mess up brand names, but that device, I was really excited for like corporate, like workspace management.
Yeah.
I could see like staffing, supplying 20 people with those to go do on-site work or work in co-working spaces or other things like that. Especially as like a marketer who's mostly in web apps most of the time, it seemed like fleet management might be the easier one, larger scale rollouts.
Yeah, love that perspective, Nathan. And I'm sorry, I know I'm going to have to kind of rush us through because we only have an hour and we have so much to cover. But Curie.co or CO was another one where they use AI technology to turn 2D into 3D. You can always go to their website to learn more, but they had a very compelling offer, I thought, just really reducing the resources and costs around creating your 3D product catalog.
Yeah.
Another one.
Well, I have to say that was my favorite out of all the vendors, quite frankly. What used to be, $300,000 for volumetric, capture, now I can do with an iPhone. It's like, wow, I was impressed.
iJack is another one, and I think iJack was probably my favorite. And if you that QR code works, I'll leave it on just for so if you want to scan the QR code with your phone, you can give it a try to their latest iJack X, which is the platform that they announced at AWE, which is they're calling it an interoperable XR platform, and really it's really interesting to play with. And Billie and I played with this technology after the fact for hours. It's really compelling. It has audio, beautifully animated AR. They're working with artists, and the experiences are gorgeous and engaging. And they're creating a cube-like structure that would allow an artist to plug and play a 3D cube storytelling environment anywhere. It could be deployed as an AR experience in the real world somewhere, like in Times Square, or you could deploy it in a 3D web space. So they're really working on tools that are going to democratize this type of content in a really smart way. And they're awesome guys. And I'm just going to tease that we're meeting with them next week to invite them on to our next pub crawl. So we're hoping to have the iJack team on. They also created one of my absolute favorite AR experiences of all time, which is Brianna's Garden. Yeah. I don't know how many of you know, it's an award-winning AR experience that was a tribute to Breonna Taylor, and it is so impactful and so moving. I think hands down for me, it's my favorite AR experience, and they created that. So I can't wait.
What I like about them is the art perspective, right? They're really coming at it from an artist perspective. They had a booklet there of the art that had been created. I shared that sat my 6-year-old niece down with it. She spent an hour playing with it. I mean, it was just amazing to me to see how consumed she was with the content. I think there's a lot here.
Yeah, I could not agree more. Niantic, this was a big one. This was a big deal. So the experience here, and again, you can scan the code to chat with Wall, the owl, the AI-driven owl, but they created this very compelling demo that for me speaks to the future of education. It is definitely personalized learning. We're going to have these AI tutors come in all shapes and sizes and forms who are going to be able to teach us in the way we want to learn. And this really translates to what we're doing, because so much of our job as marketers is education, whether we're trying to educate someone on the latest and greatest cloud platform or the latest and greatest server. There's a ton of education that goes into our marketing motions, especially from the enterprise side of things. So I think this, even though it's very consumery, this definitely has a place in our marketing motions and will down the road. So you can test that out. It was super fun. This is cross-device. I actually tried it in the new Meta Quest Pro headset, which was interesting, but it's cross-device. It works on phones, and it also works on just the standard Quest 2nd gen headset as well. So my favorite session of the entire thing was this one with Monica Ares, I think is how she pronounces her name. It was one of the first ones about the future of education, and it was so inspiring. I'm trying to hunt down her deck. She and I have connected. She's lovely, and I'm hoping if I get the deck, I will share it with you. I tried to take pictures of the slides as they came up, but it kicked off the event in such an amazing way. I would recommend she keynote next year. She's completely dialed in, inspiring. It was the best session in my view. And again, the way this, I think really applies to us as marketers is we are trying to educate and inform and entertain our audiences. And so that's exactly what she's talking about. So that, I think, do I have one more? No. A big announcement. So before I go there, any other thoughts? That was my last slide on AWE. I'm happy to open it up. We've got 3 minutes before I'm supposed to be at my my vendor spotlight.
No, it was a great show. I can't wait for the next one. See how fast things have moved.
Nathan, do you want to have a word since you were such an amazing host? You don't have to say anything.
Put you on the spot, honey.
I don't know that I have a ton to add, but anything other than a big thanks. I think, walking through the exhibit hall and getting hands-on firsthand, with this technology, to call back, I think it was Claire's comment about the Vision Pro. Even in the Vision Pro announcement, I counted at least 3 times where they said, you're gonna have to try this to understand how powerful it is. And even as somebody who's immersed in this space every day, getting hands-on, seeing how those technologies actually work, seeing how it feels, continues to be one of the things that's so crucial in my understanding of how I can use these tools. And I have to say, it was so fun to watch that group traveling around, and I could tell which tools were really sparking attention by how many questions and how hard I had to pull you away from things. It was great to see that expo floor with that lens of marketing and communication. And we'll probably be expanding the numbers and kinds of tours that we do, specifically because of this engagement with the pub crawl. So thank you for helping us learn and grow there.
We had a lot of people that just tagged along. So the group grew as we moved. It was interesting.
We did. Awesome, Nathan. Thank you so much for that. And then, so the announcement, so we are going to take a bit of a break next month for July. That is, that's what I want to be doing all summer, is just walking in the beautiful fields with my dog. That's my happy place. So I hope everyone has an amazing summer vacation. Now, I will be publishing my XR AI newsletter in July, and it's a really good way for us to stay in touch over the break. So I encourage you, if you haven't already, to subscribe to that. And I have a link for that I'll share in chat if you haven't. But I'll be talking all about the news and all sorts of other things in that newsletter as we're on that break. And then we'll be back in August. And then the next pub crawl then will be August 25th, our 4th Friday at noon. And as I said, we're hopeful here. We're going to feature iJack as the vendor. We can't wait. Okay. And here it is. So the other thing that I'm going to say about this, and I'll just put the link here in chat in case you're interested, because I'm supposed to be on my vendor spotlight like right now, but I don't want to skip over some news. So the news section is going to be a little abbreviated today because we have so much content. So again, if you're eager and itching to get all the amazing news, that the newsletter is a great way to do that. And I'll be sharing more news there. So first things first, and I'm going to take 5 minutes, less than that. And then, so the first thing is, who has seen Joan is Awful?
Oh, Johnny has, Nathan has. Oh, that's good. A few of you have.
So everybody on this call has to go and immediately watch Joan is Awful. It is
not seen it.
Amazing, and I'm going to spoil it for you all because it's important. Because I have to, because if you don't want the spoiler, mute right now. Yeah. Mute for the next 60 seconds. Okay. Really, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the idea here is that Selma Hayek has sold her digital twin to Netflix, basically, to do a real-time streaming show about Joan. Joan is apparently this real person who all of a sudden logs into Netflix, sees the show Joan is Awful, and very quickly realizes it's absolutely her life streaming in real time. She loses her job, she loses her boyfriend, her life goes to complete crap because everybody's seeing her true self, which, as all of us are, is awful and filled with human frailties. So what does she do? She takes matters into her own hands, tries to get Selma Hayek. And remember, Selma Hayek is playing her as her digital twin. So Selma Hayek isn't really doing this. It's just her digital twin who's being manipulated, the AI twin, to do this shit by what Joan is doing. So Joan goes and does something unspeakable. She basically goes and takes a huge dump in a church, basically, during a wedding. And Selma Hayek, of course, because she's Catholic, freaks out. And then the two of them band together to bring this whole thing down, because Selma Hayek didn't realize that when she sold the rights to her digital twin, that would include taking a dump in a church, right? So long story short, all this might sound completely far-fetched and crazy, but guess what? It's not. Okay, this is all happening today in real life, pretty much. The Black Mirror just took it to the nth degree, as Black Mirror does. But here's the deal. There's a myriad of articles out there that actors are already cashing in on their AI twins. So this is here. And the other thing that I want to share with you all, it's not just for celebrities. We're all going to be able to have digital twins, right? That are going to be able to go in and just think about it. Anywhere here in this call right now, this could be my digital twin theoretically. It's obviously not, but someday it could be a better version of myself who can interact better and have specialized skills that maybe I don't actually have, right? It's kind of an amazing concept and it blew my mind. And then the final thing I need to share with you. So I went into ChatGPT and I was like, hey, what if humans had digital twins? And these were the implications that it tossed out. Personal productivity, workforce efficiency, skill augmentation, the extended reach beyond the physical, all social interactions with your digital twins, personal growth, and it's just amazing. And I think the reason this blew my mind was because I think for the first time really hit me that I think in this lifetime potentially we very well could have an AI-driven twin. The technology is getting there.
There are already engineers who are taking multiple jobs using AI. They're doing this in real time and getting money for this.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's here, everyone. So yeah,
we're actually
mind
building
blown.
it.
Yes, and then Olivier, this is a perfect toss.
Yes.
Couldn't be better timing. Let's toss it. So everyone, I'm going to introduce Olivier Moingeon, who is the co-founder and CCO of Exclusible, our vendor spotlight today. And I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, Olivier, and let you take over. And I will also say, Ricky, thank you so much for joining. Ricky is the one who introduced us. So big shout out for the introduction, Ricky, for allowing us to have Olivier here today to share his expertise. So Olivier, without further ado, talk to us about our AI digital twins, please.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Ricky, for the introduction. It's always a pleasure, to speak with you. Yes, so I'm supposed to talk about Exclusible, which is the company that me and my partners launched 2 years ago. But because you are on the subject of digital twins, we are launching a new company called Doppel.ai. And the objective is to build the personality layer on top of across all LLMs. And this will power lots of applications that we're not going to necessarily develop ourselves, but we will let other developers build on top of the engine. And the idea is actually, Doppl.ai. I know there's another company in the space that has the LE.
Yep.
So yes, with the idea
Sorry,
is
guys.
that
Sorry.
No worries. The idea is we're building this very deep tech where the front end is going to be like anyone can train their Doppel, which is their digital twin, to learn how we think, our values, how we act, how we behave, what we believe, secured on the blockchain, totally private, total privacy of the data. We don't look at the data. We don't own it. The user owns the data 100%. So we don't share with anyone. We don't sell to anyone. And the idea is that as you train your own Doppel, then you will be able to send your Doppel do things that you don't want to do or that you cannot do. And
like
so
break up with someone, for example.
Take my review with my boss.
Yes. Or write like one LinkedIn post per day or answer emails or you can talk to yourself. You can talk to yourself when you were 10 years old, and you can maybe talk yourself in or out of trouble or help to make decisions. But it's great also for influencers and celebrities, because you can imagine anyone who is in the business of selling knowledge, they can masterclass. It's like masterclass meets OnlyFans kind of thing, where you could potentially, as an influencer, you can have 1 million copies of yourself, but it thinks like you. So you could have one-on-one sessions that people will pay for to have your take on something. And it doesn't have to be someone who's alive. Our objective, we're already in talk with museums around the world and galleries to potentially have a true Doppel of artists. So you can have a conversation. Because what happens right now, just to finish on this subject, what happens right now is that you have the chat GPTs of the world. So you have these large language models. You can go on the Apple Store and you can find dozens and dozens of AI startups that are purely front ends, that are decorating, that are plugging to ChatGPT. It's just that the UX UI is cool and it's a companion or a girlfriend or whatever you want it, but it doesn't really learn from you, who you are. It doesn't remember necessarily the history of your engagement and your relationships. And on top of that, it's like renting space somewhere else. ChatGPT can decide to then stop making it available or charge an insane amount of money. So that's why we believe that this is not really sustainable. It's a little bit gimmicky. And we're building the middleware that sits across all these LLMs.
Exciting.
Yes, I'm going to stop now about the AI. I'm going to go back to.
Oh my God. I basically had a panic attack for the very first time. I had a tech-related panic attack when the full weight of this whole thing hit me. It's pretty intense. And I think that for those of you that might be, and I'm not easy to have, technology related panic attacks anyway, but what threw me over the line was I'm developing an actual 3D talking avatar of someone I knew very well. I created it in 5 minutes and was talking to it with my voice and his voice. And it was like, he was fucking there. It was so crazy. This thing said things to me that the person actually said to me. Like, it was so eerie and so Black Mirror and so creepy. And I created it in 5 minutes, y'all. 5 minutes.
Yes,
it's here. And it looked like him. It's all of it.
Yes.
Okay. So just know that we are headed in this direction, like it or not.
Totally.
And you got to kind of figure it out how you're going to approach this, take a pause, have your existential moment. Anyway, so let's transition to something a little bit less fraught with controversy, if we can. So, Olivier, let's kick it off. I have some, so we want to arrive at my questions. And I think the first question is where are you seeing the most success today when it comes to brands in the immersive space? I'd love to get let's start there.
Yes, so very quickly. So when we launched Exclusible, our company, 2 years ago, we started in the NFT space. Okay, so Facebook was still called Facebook. We were already passionate about video game and immersive experiences, but it had not made it on the radar of brands and corporations yet. So we started with NFTs with the vision that NFTs would be the digital ownership layer that will power whatever immersive experiences will happen in the future. Okay. And then we had a tremendous amount of success selling NFTs for us, for ourselves, but also for brands, the first year of existence of our company. And then when the bear market happened, let's say a year ago, we started going deep into the metaverse. And we acquired a 3D studio called Polycount. They are based in Dallas. And they are 3D experts and they can build across any platform. So we doubled down on the metaverse, thinking it's kind of like the natural evolution of e-commerce, because for the past 15 years, every single brand has optimized conversion on their e-commerce website. And there is a complete merge between a commercially driven website and a storytelling website. You don't have two separate entities. It's one website that needs to tell the story of the brand and also drive revenue. And this has created a situation that we're in right now where there is not so much differentiation between brands. They are all trying to make as much money as possible on their website. So the whole creativity, the storytelling is gone to optimize for the least amount of click and the fastest, checkout. So the immersive side of the internet, 3D experiences, metaverse. I don't even want to talk about or use the word metaverse because it has created so much confusion. And 3D immersive experiences have been around for years. There's nothing really new about that. It's just that all of a sudden we started talking about it a lot more. And so for me, it becomes like this concept of virtual worlds. It's the natural evolution towards virtual commerce, where it's much more engaging, much more immersive. It doesn't have to have blockchain, it doesn't have to have Web3 or NFTs. It can have these components, and it's cool because you can do a lot more things, but you can also tell your story in a much more creative way, much more immersive. You can co-create as well. You can have your community live in these worlds. So that's why there has been already, like in a short 1.5 year period of time, there has been already like 2 separate eras. There is the era immediately after Facebook, turning to Meta, and then everybody wanted to do the metaverse, like go into the metaverse as quickly as possible, forgetting their core principles. So that's why a lot of brands built on Sandbox and Decentraland, which are the 2 most famous metaverse platforms, which are now being completely put away and like put on the side. No one is really paying attention to these 2 platforms anymore.
Yeah.
Because now brands realize that they cannot compromise on quality, and that they have to decide what the strategy is about. If they want to go top of the funnel, reach millions of new users, and recruit today the clientele of tomorrow, then they should really look at video games. And the number 1 being Roblox. Younger, like really young audience, very captive, willing to spend money on it, on whatever you throw at them, and you start building awareness. If you want to create an immersive experience, then that creates all these new benefits that I was talking about. Then you're not going to compromise on quality anymore. With Unreal Engine and Unity, you can build really beautiful 3D, and it can live on your website. And then you're going to have to learn which marketing metrics you look at, how you measure success, how you drive traffic, and how do you capture the attention within those spaces. So yeah, so now the experiences are much better than they were a year ago.
Great. So Olivier, I'm just like, we have about 5 minutes for you to talk here. I know the time is do you want to do you have something you want to share with us in the 5 minutes? Did you want to share your deck, or what do you think is the most valuable use of your time here? We could also just start talking about the Hugo Boss experience, since that I think very lovely demonstrates what you've done and the great work that you're doing.
I'm going to show, I already have everything prepared. So I'm just going to show literally like 3 slides that I think help just frame the metaverse. So for us, the metaverse, it's nothing else than a new marketing channel. It's a channel. You can use it for marketing, for communication, also for sales. And it's the evolution of social media. And social media was already the evolution of marketing and communication. Okay, so just so that everybody understands,
this is great.
Talking about when we talk. That's why I say the metaverse was very confusing, because no one really understood what it meant exactly. So you can go on video game platforms, the most famous ones being Fortnite, Roblox, and Zepeto. You can also have metaverse experiences that are based on web, like a blockchain land. So you have to rent or buy a land to build on top of it. This is gone. Like no one is really paying attention to that anymore. And then the 2 layers at the bottom, it's more immersive 3D spaces. And here you have 2 ways to look at those immersive 3D spaces. You can build them using the video game engine Unity or Unreal Engine 5, with a lot of pros and cons for each of them. Or you can have WebGL experiences, which again has been around for like a decade and more. And then you can do hybrid type of immersive experiences, like what Lacoste did, where it looks like it feels like an immersive experience, but it's nothing else than high definition pictures which are collated together in a sphere, and you just move from point A to point B, and it feels immersive, but it's not a metaverse and it's not a real 3D environment.
Oh, I have to go play with that. That's interesting.
Yes. More and more brands are actually going towards WebGL, so the bottom left, which allows you to use the video game engines, Unity and Unreal Engine, and you create completely custom experience on your website, which is immersive. You can have avatars if you want, multiplayers, but you control completely the tech ecosystem. And just to very quickly, and then I'm done, just to give you an idea about those video game platforms, especially Roblox. I'm very bullish on Roblox. We're talking about millions and millions of users. I think Roblox has 66 million daily users and a much younger audience, highly engaged. And you have in-game currency, therefore you have in-game monetization. You also have ways, like we've done it, where you have ways to make players go into your website to redeem some type, like they have to enter their email on your website, they redeem a code, and then they can use the code in Roblox to unlock some skins or some special space. So there's even ways to collect data.
Yeah, I love that. And Billie is asking about which brands are doing it from their own website. I mean, I think that LVMH example, Olivier, that's a walled garden experience. So that's an example, Billie. It's just we call it a walled garden, right? It's like it's a microsite that the brand controls versus having the foot traffic. And we talk about this a lot in terms of when we think about strategy here. You've got to determine, are you trying to get foot traffic, like in a Roblox where we've got millions of users, or are you going to send people there? You have a list, a curated list where you're going to send people. And that's like, I think, very beginning part of the decision making when you start trying to determine how you're going to develop an experience like this outside of kind of the other things, which is the objective and what's next and how do you want to make them feel and who's the target audience. Then you just kind of start thinking where are the people coming from, because as we know, it's not a build it and they will come situation. You've got to either recruit them or find them or acquire them or build in a place where there's a lot of foot traffic, like a Roblox. And I even hesitate to call Roblox and Fortnite video games anymore, Olivier, because you look at a Roblox, there's a lot more than just video games that's happening there, right? It's so I don't even I wouldn't even call Roblox really a video game. It's much broader than that.
Yeah, and I would even
for me, I could.
But I think video game is a good term for people that aren't as, it's a good catch-all term for people that may, it paints a visual for sure. Oh, here's the LVMH example. I love this.
I'm trying to launch it. I have bad internet where I am. So I can share the link later.
Yeah. So this is another great experience, you all, to take a look at. That is that example of a more branded walled garden experience, as opposed to the very
a shit ton of money to drive people to your own website versus going where people are at. That's my cross to bear.
Yeah. So does Hugo Boss have a relationship with imaginary ones? That I do not know.
Yes, they do.
They do. So the answer is yes. Great.
The answer is yes. They did a collab with Imaginary Ones, which is a Web3 project. And then they actually launched merch, physical merch that has NFC chips that people can activate with their phone. And it releases an NFT, which is a proof of proximity.
So everyone, I think now is a good time. We can set the challenge. There is a quest here. The last time I know Billie and I have done the quest before, and I know some of you are new, but you can jump in. If you collect all 4 orbs, you get the awesome white suit as an NFT. I suggest you all try it. It shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes, especially with Olivier here and presenting. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in.
Did you share the link?
Yes, the link is absolutely in chat, Billie, at the very top. If you scroll up, I've got the experience there, but I'm happy to share it again if those that need it.
I think a lot of people are already in the experience.
We got people in the experience already.
Yes. So I can explain, give a little bit of background on this experience.
Yeah, let's do that.
From Hugo Boss' point of view. So they did a very successful fashion show in Miami in February. And then they asked us if we could do the metaverse version, but they gave us only 41 days to create this, and they wanted to use AI. It was very interesting because we worked with their designers, and based on the theme and the aesthetic of their Miami fashion show, we created an entire world on using Midjourney. we created like mock-ups and mood boards of this phantasmagorical world that was inspired by their fashion show. Then our designer, our 3D studio, took all these mood boards from Midjourney and built their version into that platform called Spatial.io, which is one of the best metaverse platforms out there.
How long did it take to build?
I don't know exactly. So the whole project, start to finish, was 41 days. To build, I don't know, probably like 30 days, maybe. The first 10 days were the back and forth.
Oh, it's amazing.
And it's a six-figure budget.
And how successful has it been? How are they measuring success?
Yes. So because it was so last minute and rushed, they didn't have a lot of expectations, but they wanted, it's a fantastic brand to work with because they want to try a million things in, innovative marketing. And
that's lovely.
So they didn't have a lot of expectations, but they were super happy with the results because you can see that we have 1,300 likes. And I think the space out of like right now, we have 38,000 visitors. And on average, we know that each visitor spends 9 minutes in the space.
Nice.
And you can see which is, so it's very important that every marketer, or at least like we collectively establish what good looks like, or like what are the metrics that we should look at for that type of experiences, because you could argue that it's not the millions of people from the millions of views on Instagram. But on the other hand, you have thousands of people spending 9 minutes with you as a brand. And then it's your job to maximize those 9 minutes to capture their hearts and attention.
Yes. And what you just did there was collect all the orbs and get to redeem a gift, which gives you this suit.
Yes.
So we are now crawling, everybody. So we are live. We are in, hi, Johnny. We're in the experience. I have collected all 4 orbs here. It took me about 5 minutes. So now I'm going to go and collect my NFT. You can all join me here once you collect your orbs. I'm wearing my suit. I love this suit, by the way.
Very cool.
I love it.
To buy the suit. She was like, hey, how do I buy the suit? So
I wanted to buy
quite exactly connected to buying the exact suit. But I could see how it easily could be.
Yeah. And then I click redeem. And when I do this, it's going to take me over to Ready Player Me, which is the avatar integration solution. I enter my email and then they send me a code or you a code or whomever to submit and get your NFT of the suit, which then I can now wear to my birthday party that we're going to be having here in just a few minutes. So who has questions? So, I think that the other thing I'll say, Olivier, is there are a lot of copycats. I just saw Gucci launched a Quest experience very similar to this. So a lot of copycat is happening here with these brands, kind of other fashion brands jumping in and doing something very, very similar, which I think speaks to the success of this application. Any questions or who has questions, guys?
What do you plan to do with this space next? Is there a plan?
Great question. Yes. What is next?
That's a good question. There's no plan about this space. It's open and it's permanent. We're actually working on more environments for different use cases coming up in the fall.
Okay.
I know there's no long-term vision. I hate that people just drop these and then just, then go off to the next thing, right? Instead of evolve it.
So I can speak to Fortnite.
Sure.
I was just going to say, from a Fortnite perspective, you're kind of stuck in the game mechanics that they're giving you with the tools to create with. Over here, I do think it's the environments and that's the direction to go. And I can let Oliver speak to that. But I think Fortnite, when you use Fortnite as this type of an interface, there is some constraint, you've got the timers, you've got like game constraints that you can use.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that actually brings up another really good point that the good point here is that the spatial tries to be a really good partner. And Olivier, maybe you can, that's what you were about to say.
Yes, so Spatial keeps adding new features, and they are built on Unity. What's going to happen is that we can add portals into this space so that this over time can become the Hugo Boss hub that will then bring connect to all the other experiences that we are going to continue building. And they don't have to be in the same platform. They can, but they don't have to be. We can go into Roblox, we can go into their own website, and then we can very easily update all the content. So the videos, the digital fashion.
Yes.
The space is there. They can activate it whenever they want, or they can potentially, we can build. That's the beauty of it. There are no limits. We can literally build on top of that space, and we can keep expanding it if they wanted to,
Yeah, to Johnny's point about, game mechanics and what you're stuck with and designing around it, wasn't it Roblox that just announced that they're going for, an adult audience now? And so I think that's going to change, Johnny. I at least I hope it does. Right?
It's the integration of AI, I think, and how, especially Roblox, I can speak directly to that, where now you can make a lot more adaptations as a non-hardcore Unity dev or Unreal dev.
Yeah. Lots of growth coming, I know.
All right, I'm headed. I'm going to my birthday party.
Okay.
I just posted the link.
You
We can
just
continue the
posted-
conversation as we go there. Now, I'll say, as we are entering the space, and just so you all know, I have obviously very limited, maybe not obviously, I have very limited coding skills, everybody. And so this NFT, this gallery, oops, I teased it. I created this in just a matter of hours, right? So this is a plug and play templated space that's perfect for a gallery. It has a lounge where we can hang out. Now, there were more things, interactive things that I wanted to add here. And I'll just say that, if I if I did have more coding chops, right, I could have added a dance floor and all sorts of other things, but I really just used what you see is what you get, plug and play templated content. The gallery section here, everyone. So I made these images, and in my mind, I think they're beautiful. These are my United Colors of Flower Fairies here collection that I made specifically for us. I created 100 of these using Midjourney, and the Olivier has very graciously said is going to help us mint these, and I'll be giving everyone here who wants an NFT flower fairy, send me an email, and you will be the first ones exclusive to get these before they go public. So I'm really excited about this. It's been a fun experience, amazing learning experience. I'm obsessed with Midjourney. I could sit and make these types of images all day, every day. Maybe eventually I can get a job doing that. I don't know. But it was so fun to make them. And I can't wait, to gift you all one. So again, I'll put my email in chat. I just ask that you send me an email to let me know, and then I will, I'll share with you as soon as the page is ready. And Olivier, do you want to share with everyone kind of the technology behind that plug and play NFT process that you're letting me beta? It's not even launched yet.
Yeah, sure.
This call may be recorded for coaching purposes.
Our objective is to make NFT technology as accessible as possible for anyone who doesn't need to have a crypto wallet or crypto or anything like that. So we're going to use one of our products, which allows to mint an NFT simply by entering your email address. And then in the back end, we're opening a wallet. You don't even know, or you don't need to know that you have a wallet, but you will be able to visualize your NFT on a web page and add more to it if you want. And then over time, if you want to have control of that wallet or transfer the NFTs, you will be able to do that.
Yes, I love it. So he's reducing so much of the friction when it comes to NFTs. One of the most frustrating things is trying to set up a wallet. And so the platform will help totally alleviate that friction. So those of you that are wanting to dip your toe into NFT world, and you can see when I shut off my video, I've got one that's so these are, you know, what PFPs, profile pics for all of you. So you too can have your own Flower Fairy profile pic. All of these ones that you see in the gallery are up. They could potentially, one of them could be yours. And you'll have your own Flower Fairy spirit guide.
Grow my NFT collection.
Yes,
Yay!
and grow your collection. I love it that so many people are here for my birthday. Let's get a quick selfie. I would love to get a group shot of everyone. So maybe you can find me and come around here and huddle, and we'll get the gallery in the background, and I'll take a picture of everyone because this is super exciting. And then as we're doing this, please, let's open it up. Conversations. We've got 7 whole minutes. Oh, I love that you're dancing, adventuring lobster. So cool. So cool. Questions for Olivier? Anyone have any questions? This is the time. Look at us. Look at all of us.
How long did it take you to build this?
Yeah, just a few hours. Less than that. This was the longest part of this whole experience were the NFTs and creating those. The 100 NFTs the images that I created took me a couple of hours, probably about 2 hours. And I would love to sit down and make them better, because here's the deal. Like, from the first one of these to the last one, they got better and better and better and more and more and more magical. It was like a slot machine. I could not stop creating them because they just got more and more and more beautiful. So it was learning. It felt like it was learning. I have ideas about how I want to improve these. So it was super fun. Took me a couple of hours. And then I just went in, and in fact, I can show everybody. Before I do that though, is everybody over here? Come over here, stand by Adventuring Whale. Just huddle in a little bit, and I'm going to get a beautiful image of my birthday party here of everyone. So very good. Ready? On the count of 3, we're gonna go.
No.
1, 2, 3. We'll take more than one. There's one. I'll take another one. 1, 2, 3. Love it. And again, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thanks, everybody. I love that. So let me I can share and just enjoy the gallery, but I will share how easy it is to create a space, since you asked the question, which is a great one. But if I go here, let me just top in to my spaces, and so you can see the button. It says create space.
Yep.
I click on it. These are all of the custom. All of the templated spaces that you can choose. And they even have some color options. So I used this Agora gallery option because I knew I wanted to be a gallery. I picked this beautiful light colored option because I wanted my images to pop, my beautiful flower fairies, but I could have done it in blue or purple or whatever. And really you can see here, well, there's an outdoor one. There's the boardroom lounge, there's a mountain lounge. So
there's no bar.
There's no bar. And there's no club. I think that's a glaring, gap.
Totally.
Is that, I wanted to create a party space, and a party space needs a bar and a dance floor.
There is champagne.
Yes, thank you. All of it. But at the end of the day, it's super easy. So in fact, let's just click. I'm curious to see, all right, Billy, pick a space. Which one do you want me to create?
Let's go to the bedroom.
The bedroom? Where did you see a bedroom? The boardroom?
Yeah, the bedroom. Oh, isn't that the bottom? Oh, boardroom. Oh, how boring.
Your mind is in the gutter, my lady.
Where's your mind? Where's your mind?
That's the highlight of the show. Billy getting to the bedroom.
She wants to go to the bedroom.
We haven't even had dinner, Billy. Come on.
Yeah. Let's get the outdoor
all right,
one.
So pick another one.
The outdoor one.
All right, yes, that's the one I wanted to go to too. So let's take a look at the outdoor space. So I'm creating the space here. It'll just take a few seconds. And here I am in my virtual outdoor space. So there's a campfire. It looks like there's a screen that I could potentially share. So this is probably like a watch party moment. So I could share something on that screen and we could watch it together in this type of environment. Movie night, sure.
Yeah.
So if you want to get super meta, what you do is you go here in a browser inside VR.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Why is it letting me go?
It's very weird.
Weird. Okay. Weird. Good.
Any other questions? Just kind of learning the limitations of this space. It's kind of a This is kind of a rinky-dink space. There's not a whole lot to do here.
It just makes it so accessible to everyone. You know, I need a gallery to put my NFTs that I can share with everyone. You know, here I can do it, and I know nothing about programming. You know, so to me, it's just so accessible, so accessible.
Yeah, and and the other problem that I'll say that Spatial has solved, I think, in a really smart way, is it's intuitive, it's easy. You know, talk about Second Life, Johnny. There's about a 5-minute learning curve here. Second Life, it was like an hour. Like when Second Life first launched, for even the smart people, technically savvy, I should say, it took at least an hour to get through that SL learning curve, right? So they've democratized this so you can hop in and be ready to go in 5 minutes. And I think that was one of that and the fact that Second Life is still not optimized for mobile. Those were the two reasons that I think really prevented Second Life's mass adoption.
Well, when Chris Carrillo came in that first time, he got a beer bottle stuck on his ear for like 25 minutes in Second Life and couldn't get it off. And he was like, this is right. And Chris is like a tech guy, right? Anyways.
How funny.
And so I'll leave this space and just, we've got 2 more minutes. So questions, we can explore. There's
Spatial. Do you know?
I'm sorry, Billy, what?
How many people can go in at once?
Into one? That's a great question. Olivier, how many people can the Hugo Boss build take in at once? Do you know the number?
Yeah, it's 50 at a time, but they can open multiple sessions at the same time.
Yeah.
So it can shard. So it can instance.
It can shard. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I don't know. They change all the time, so I don't know exactly the total concurrent user. It could be 1,000.
But every 50 it creates a new instance.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's a limitation. Hopefully they'll overcome soon.
Well, and it kind of depends on how you look at it, you know, and what it's a limitation if you're paying $250 to go to a virtual networking event and you're only hanging out with 50 of the people at the event. Then it is absolutely a limitation. And that happened to me recently where I went to an Adweek event. It was expressly for networking. I paid the $250 for the virtual event, which is a lot considering that most of these are free, 90% of the time.
Yeah.
And I went to expressly to meet everyone else that was there. And I hopped into this thing and there were 3 other people. And I immediately was like, where is everybody? And they're like, oh, they're in, the multi other instances of this event. I'm like, well, I'm coming here to network. I'm networking now with 3 people instead of the 200 people that you claim are here. So it really, that was a fail. But, for some of these other experiences, I don't know if it's a fail. If you think about if it's 50 strangers, once you start getting those high numbers, it gets to be kind of a clusterfuck, excuse the language. And, there's lagging and it gets to be kind of a shit show. And so I think it really depends, Billy, on the use case of the numbers and why at the end of the day, yes, we want to scale and be able to offer the experience to millions of people, but they don't need to be in there at the same time, all of them, not necessarily.
Lisa, you guys should check out Improbable.
Tell us about it, Johnny. Tell us about Improbable.
Oh, this is Mike Shaman. Hi.
Sorry, Mike. I thought Johnny was. I had seen Johnny's. Hi, Mike. Tell us about Improbable. Thank you.
Improbable is building out a platform where you can have up to 10,000 concurrent users. The scale is immense. It's crazy. They're working with Hugo Labs right now. Their stuff. I've participated in a few betas. It's really exceptional. With it has proximity-based audio too, so you can hear the people that you're close to, which makes it a little bit more palatable. Much better for gaming than for enterprise events or networking. But my goodness, is the technology incredibly, incredibly impressive. Look up improbable.io. They are leading the charge in terms of massive volume of users in a single space at a single time.
Awesome. Yes. I think check that out.
Yes.
This Airbus 380 experience. This is a really interesting. It's interesting. We got the Airbus experience here.
The thing is with Improbable is that it costs. They are the most expensive platform.
Oh, super
expensive.
Crazy.
So it's only if you're a Fortune 500 company.
Oh, look at this! Oh my God!
That's fun.
It's a disco on the
plane.
Oh my God! I love that. How amazing is that? These are the surprise and delight moments that brands have to think about. right? This could have been a boring.
You found a speakeasy party.
This is where we should have done it, Lisa.
Which is what I expected it to be. Everybody should join me. Come to the Boeing experience because, I mean, how fun is this? Oh my God, I love it.
What a great way to end. And
this
really,
is the perfect way to end.
Lisa.
Thank you.
Great birthday find. Really, happy birthday, honey.
Yay. Yes.
Everybody, thank you for being here. I mean, really so appreciate your interaction and engagement and comments and, you know, having a voice and being here. It's really just so wonderful to hang out with this crowd.
Thank you so much. Happy birthday again.
Happy birthday.
Coming up.
Thanks, Oliver.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. Big hand of applause to Olivier. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise. I loved having you, and hopefully we'll see you again in the pub crawl. And definitely when we come out to New York, we need to meet in person. I look forward to that day.
Yes, me too. No, thank you for having me. And it was very interesting. The first 15 minutes, like your recap of the event, I took a lot of notes.
Yeah, excellent.
Very interesting.
It was amazing.
Yes.
Awesome, everyone. Well, thanks. I love you all. And I will see everybody newsletter, remember, in July. And then we're back in August for our live event. So I can't wait to see you all then and there. And if you have questions in the meantime, hit us up. We are available and willing to talk about this stuff anytime, anywhere. I love it. All right, everyone.
Yes. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Nice to see you, Kelly.
Thank you again.
Yes, thanks, Kelly. Thanks, Ricky. Thanks. It's good, Kelly, to see you, my love.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Mike.
Hopefully, Mike, I'll see you tonight. All right. Hey, Victor. Thanks for hanging on.
Yes, thanks for coming.
I appreciate it. Rob, thanks for being here.
Lisa, real quickly, what was the tool?
Thanks all. Sorry I got here late.
Everybody. No worries.
It's been a busy Friday already.
Lisa, what